Good morning, folks, and welcome to FYI. So happy to be here with you. Another day, folks. It's the 21st day of June already. It's month end. It's month end. No doubt some of you check in the bank ever so often to see if the little salary has been paid, the little wages, and so forth. We hope all goes well with you. In that regard, folks, in that regard, you say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Good to see so many of you on the live this morning, folks. Good to see so many of you on the live. Debbie, good to see you. Debbie Collins and Jolly Anderson. Chevron is here. Good to see Chevron. Clear Alexis Charmley Richmond is here as well, guys. We're happy that all of you have joined us this morning. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. Jolly, Chevron, Claire, Pamela Fontenelle is here as well. Sukchan, Sukchan, Claudia Simon, Lynn Fernandez is here as well, guys. We're so happy that all of you could join us. We're delighted. Janice Mitchell is here, and Tabitha Maynard, and Marie Salby is here too. Good to have you all on the live. Pamela, Yvette, Juna, I see Yvette, a lot of Yvettes this morning. Donna Joseph is here. Edward Brooms, Julian Mars, Junior Holder is here too, guys. We're happy. We're delighted that you folks have chosen to join us. You know, as you come on, we have one request. By now, you know it. One simple request. One simple request. We're happy those of you who know the request. We're happy those of you who know it. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. And let's proceed. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. We're happy that you guys are here with us. Pull up a cup of something. Porridge, coffee, tea, Milo tea, tea bag tea. Pull up a cup of something with us. Folks, you know, I just say these things to send you into a fit. I say these things for the dramatic effect. You know that. You see somebody else saying, he knows coffee, is that tea? Yeah. That's the Bacchanali's crew. Yep. It's good to see you, Sherlyn. Juice Etendre. Oren Don is here, and Donna Joseph is here as well, guys. We're so privileged that you guys have joined us. We are so privileged. We ensure that we're shared to all the true and correct places. Delighted to have all of you here. Marlon Thomas is here as well. Yolanda, how are you doing? Good to have you, Marlon. Marla Pandey is here too. Good to have each and every one of you, wherever you all are joining us from this morning. I see Donna there reading her newspapers. Gil Cock says New Jersey's in the house. Yep, you better recognize. And Singh is here too. And Singh and Vesta Hardy, Raj Kumar is here as well. Folks, we're so happy. I see Peril Thorne is here too. Dwayne Collins is here too. Indrani Jaikaran is here too. Welcome, Indrani. Welcome, Evelyn Nelson. Good to have all of you folks on the live. Good to have you guys on the live this morning. I see Gail and Andrew Griffith is here too. Andrew, good morning. Good morning, Andrew. Dwayne, I see Dwayne Hall is here. Dwayne, my family, my grandmother is Hall by marriage. Yeah. Hall by marriage, believe it or not. She might be family, Dwayne. Welcome. Ingrid Pollard, Beatrice Selby. I see Licia Simon Griffith. Good to have you. And Maxine Monroe. Good to have each and every one of you guys. We are so happy that you guys have chosen to join us. We got a lot to get through this morning. A lot to get through. Wish I had a cup of something. Wish I had a cup of hot coffee. You know, but good health is hard to get these days. Good health, so hard to get. Good health is so hard. Pinky Car, you know what I'm talking about. Good health is so hard to get. Good health. Gary Wong, good to have you there. Good to have you, Gary and Indrani. Pinky, good to have you. Morning Toby's here. Stop the clock. Morning has stood up. Stay calm. Norma Jones is here as well. Stay calm. We get reinforcement, folks. We have reinforcement. Right? I see we have also Lakshmi, Ramadar, Lakshmi Ram. Welcome, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, come, she says, PPP all the way. Lakshmi said, good morning. Good to see you, folks. Happy to be alive. You know, how you all doing? PPP all the way. Welcome, Lakshmi. Let's do it your way. Gladstone Matthews. You know, we just talk about things happening in the country, and people say we're a political show. We're a political program. With the opposition, all we do is talk about what is happening nationally. And people put you in a corner. We never come out here saying we belong to Apnu AFC, which day show. Nothing like that. We started a humble morning program. You know how it goes, humble morning program. A humble podcast, humble evening programs. A couple of people watch us, here and there. And suddenly here's opposition. And that is why Lakshmi came so heavy this morning. Right? Lakshmi says, Sherry, you got some tea there, you got a little coffee. How things by you? None of that. None of that. Should we take offense? PP all the way. Lakshmi said, take a scripture in your chest, Duncan. Right? Take a scripture in your chest. But welcome. Right? Magella Letlow, good to have you here. How am I calling it? Magella. I see Margaret Nelson is here too. Good to have you, Margaret. Right? Look how Margaret them come out. Good morning, Sherrod, and everyone on the FYI live. Now that's a better way to start. And then after you could throw your jabs and your little politics. Good morning, folks. Welcome. And I can imagine Lakshmi. Bust the bedroom door. First person you see the house, PP all the way. PP all the way. Yeah. Oh yes. When I was growing up, it seemed to me, maybe it was the same. It seemed to me as though politics was every 5 years. You were stuck with some jerk for 5 years. We stuck with a lot of people for 23. Right? You're stuck with some 5 years at least. And then the madness would start. But now it's every day. The folks who are older than I am, the folks who are older than 35, older than I am, older than 35. Was it so? Was politics always up in your face like that? Right? Was it always like that, I want to know. Was it always that way? Folks, good to have you. Good to have you here. Erwin Dunn says, thank God for waking up. Y'all done. Lakshmi, we're a little rough here 1-2 times. So don't take it personally. Right? Hope we see you back again. I think Lakshmi is Lacho. I think so. But don't take it personally, You learn in this business not to take things personally. Right? We got to be thick-skinned. So good to see you. Marilyn says she and Darmland is friend. Sarah Goodridge. Good to see you, Sarah. Donna McDonald Lansing. Good to have all of you folks here with us. Good to have all of you. So good morning to you. Good morning to each and every one of you. I'm tempted to say, except, I wouldn't say it. I'm going to think it, but I will not say it. I don't want to get in that frame like Lacho. The light one is another one. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. Folks, we got a lot of stuff we want to get through this morning. Help us, please. We got a lot of stuff we want to get through. We turn our attention on some of the things we're tracking in the morning paper. It's not plenty, it's a couple. Let me come out of the way so you can see more of this graphic. Yeah. Trying to figure out how to position myself. But good to have each and every one of you on the live. Good to have you on the live. Yolanda out front parts. Good to have you. Basil is here. Cycling Oil is here. All right, we can start now. Jacqueline Clark is here as well. It's good to see each and every one of you. We hope that you're well. We hope that you are well. We don't always get up well. Pillows do a number on my neck, on my back. I'm still searching for a good pillow. You know what I have reverted to? I think I've told you guys this before. My, we have this, what do you call it? It looks like a travel pillow, but a bigger version of it that you put a baby on to nurse the baby. We had one of that. And I don't know, quite by accident, one day I put it under my head and I realized this is a lot of comfort I've had in the longest while. Pillows give me headache, backache, all kinds of words. I don't sleep with pillows. So, but that one now is flattened because I've used it for a little while. Right? My son is about 2, going on 3 now. So it's flattened a little bit. So I had to go and buy one of those travel pillows, one of the smaller versions now. And that brings us some relief. But I'm looking, if you all know anything out there that can help your boy, a good night's sleep is important. A good night's sleep is important. I went to bed about 2 o'clock this morning. The struggle was real. I was tossing and turning, wrestling in my mind with a lot of issues. You see? I spot Lakshmi coming a little while off. I picked you up in my spirit. Since then, I was like something was going to be up this way. They realized Lakshmi was coming through. But I'm happy. How did you guys wake up this morning? Y'all got up good? I know some of you don't always wake up good every morning. Some mornings you wake up and, it's pee all the way. Sometimes you wake up like that. Sometimes you wake up. I trust you all are off to a running start. That's important. You off to a running start. Siobhan and Robert Costello and Gail Beckles, Rogers. Gail, I ain't see for a little bit. I'm happy you're here. Sabina Jacobs, good to see you as well. Abiola Bob and all the other folks joining us. Couple of things we're following the morning papers. The Madhya Fire, they're telling us they're now installing some alerts, fire alert system, fire alerts and fire prevention system in some of the dorms, including Madhya. So much has happened since my trip to Madhya a couple of weeks ago, because we haven't had a chance to talk about us visiting the site there. As a matter of fact, the photograph we're using in the graphic this morning is a photograph that your boy took on site there. Went on site. Folks, when you start approaching that area, say it's poor. I thought it was me alone. So I asked a couple of the folks who were with us. I said, yes. You get this eerie feeling. Something happened on this site. I don't think they should build back anything there, save and except a monument. No schooling should happen there. They should build a monument to those kids. It's a nice piece of real estate there. You have to go through a side street in Madhya, and then you get to where the dorms are. They should put a fantastic, spare no expense for that monument. And when people visit Madhya, they can go and, remember the victims of what happened. But if you know the PPP, they won't want to. You see, Lakshmi, you understand that. I said good morning and all the nice stuff and so on. Now we get into the political aspect. That's how you do things around these parts. PPP will want to build that there as a reminder of their epic failure. Just yesterday, we told you, Sabbath News reporting in its editorial said, Minister of Education still got a lot to answer for on the Madhya front. On that, I think that's perhaps the worst fire in our nation's history. On their watch. Right? And then you got this huge scandal, never before in the history of this country. You had a sitting minister arrested. And only arrested, the allegations are so damning. PPP watch again. Folks, I wish it wasn't so. I wish it was nice and dandy. I wish the economy was doing well and the UG children get a free tuition, the pensioners get a 40,000 promise, public servants they get a 50% raise. I wish there were those things to report on. Alas, here we are, thankfully, hitherto, and the Lord helped us to endure. Alas, here we are, so telling us, implementing, putting in fire alert systems and such and so forth. Yeah. We got to be more proactive. This is being reactive. Something happened. We know what is the right thing, Is that we know? We know what is the right thing. But we chose to do wrong. How much longer? The good Lord can tarry with we. How much longer? So they're putting in the systems there. They're putting in the systems. We learned this morning. This story here is a little murky. Right? They're telling us here that one day after Calvin Sancho fell overboard in the Demerara River, his body has been recovered. Sunday, this accident occurred. Right? Sunday, the incident occurred on Sunday. The body was observed floating in the river on Monday. Right? They're telling us that Calvin Sancho is part of a group of men who were traveling in a boat along the river, right, with the intention of docking by a ship. They said it's when he tried to secure the rope to dock the vessel he was on. He fell overboard. Family saying that the story changing up a little bit. The story of the folks who were there with Calvin Sancho at the time when he fell overboard, allegedly, I'm going to say the story changing up a little bit. Thoughts and prayers with them, to lose a loved one like this. Thoughts and prayers with them. Thoughts and prayers with them. So this story mix up. One time you hear this, the next time you hear that, story will mix up. So folks, we're following that. One of the things we're following this morning. Our thoughts and prayers with the friends, family, the community, I'm certain, who loved Calvin Sancho. We're following that as well. So that's what we're following on that front, folks. And then they're telling us we have a prison escapee from Lusignan, convicted armed robber. Lusignan prison. That's what they're telling us. An inmate escape. And this instance we're talking about Ronaldo Paris, 23 years old, convicted prisoner. He said he scaled the fence and escaped from Lusignan prison. He scaled the fence and escaped. Folks, just so you know, in the same vein like Smalley, Sancho didn't escape. If you have a fence low enough, a man could scale it. I don't know if he and the girl from Sophia's friends who jumped through the window, family, 2 stories up, he scaled the fence. If the fence so low, the man could jump over it. Right? He didn't escape. You're telling the inmates, you can go and come as you like. And we're going to facilitate it. We are going to create the enabling environment. I'm certain that's what Robeson might have told them. We can create the enabling environment. You just go and come. You know, if you got the right price, you could go and come. Yes. If you got the right price and the price is right, you could go and come. You're serving life sentence. What did I do with anything? All the merrier. All the merrier. You go on weekends and come back. Right? Go and visit your family. Copulate, cogitate. You come back. So they're telling us that the fellow escaped. Right? He escaped. Ronaldo Paris. He escaped. 23 years old, convicted robber. Right? He said Paris jumped onto a sink to escape from the place. Oh, he left. Right now, Paris must be watching us, having some eggs and bacon, some nice coffee, everything we're not having. He said, look, I gone big. He left. Robeson, no, he left. You tell me after Mazzaroni, we ain't double checking and securing, making sure the fence is okay and so on. He lived on a sink and he got outside. He come back. When he finishes, you're watching, see. He will not be recaptured. He's going to go back. That's how it works. Price is right. You go and visit your sweet girl, the old girl, everybody. And then you took him back. He left. Don't go for fellas. Heaven faith, I'm happy. I found an agreement in you. Heaven faith said he left. He didn't escape. Cigar by the corner shop. I didn't beat your laugh, but probably got by the corner shop. Mr. Probably gone for cash grant. The local government elections cash grant. Right? Ronaldo must have got kids too. Gone by the corner, come back. The mayor walking every day. How many times Mayor Ubraj Narain, Pandit Ubraj Narain, Lord Mayor Ubraj Narain, hit office, he walking. And he said he walking till last day. That's what he said. He'll be here and he is working to his last day. He's proving it. Met with the Mexican ambassador and they're talking about projects that, twinning of the cities and so on and how they can collaborate to move the city of Georgetown forward. I saw the mayor inspecting the new headquarters for City Hall right there in Regent Street. Busy. That's how you gotta be when you decide you want to serve the public. Some people are absent without leave, you know. They're mystic, they're gone. They left. Like Ronaldo parents, like Smalley. Right? They didn't escape, they just left the process. But the mayor present. Mayor Operation Rising is present and working right to the last day and the final hour. He said about Darmel McKay, he's pass him, former mayor. Kind of like ugly, no. I'm constrained and convinced that he don't like ugly. So you know, Kwame out already, a couple other people. So the mayor's working, and again, we owe a debt of gratitude. Right? There's a gratitude. You see this cantankerous one here, Naomi? Naomi said she has green gone into thin air. She left. She left the process. You see? Oh, we have a plan for Georgetown. She left. Easy come, easy go. She left. She didn't escape. She left. The mayor working present. We must shop for work, folks. We must shop for work. You know, I know sometimes we're late a minute or two. When was it? Was it yesterday morning? Yesterday morning we prompt and on time. It was not last night, the night before, Monday night. We prompted on time. We finished putting together the show about I don't know, 7:45. All right? And when we're ready to come on, none of the cameras connected. This is the travails you face when you're streaming live. Right? When you're streaming live, and the downside that we face when we record before is that you have stuff happening all the time, and these are programs about current events. You have things happening right down to the wire. Right down to the wire. Right? But you have to be prepared. That's the point I want to make. Sometimes we are a little late because we're preparing. And I've learned, right? Being out front, you must have something to say. A lot of people want to be out front, but they ain't got nothing to say. They should leave. Y'all left the man. The mayor is present and working. And we're tremendously happy about that. The mayor is present and working. And there's a difference. There's a qualitative difference between present and working. Some people present but the clock out already. Y'all in problem solving. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not you, but some others. The present but the done clock out, the punchy clock already. Right? I see Yolanda, Marlon. Marlon said Trisha and Chase left. They vanish. Right? They vanish. Heaven Faith wants to know where is Druida. Druida should be told. I don't know if I have permission to tell her, for her safety's sake. But nonetheless, whatever. Druida's in London, actually. Druida's on a conference right now in London. With some of the Jacobats and Trench Crapos. And a conference in London. So if you all see her, say hello. If you all see her on your side, say hello, folks. And if y'all want to send anything our way, she's going to be our zone and E-zone. Right? So you folks in the UK, you want to send anything for us in this end? She by your side. So, thanks for. I don't even have our permission to say that. You know. But whatever, the mayor's working. The mayor's moving forward, folks. The mayor's moving forward. Again, we had another election. Folks at GCOM and do one press conference. The following earphone pattern. Yet again, we saw Starbuck News. You gotta give Starbuck News credit. Real middle of the road. Sometimes we got disagreements. Teacher and tongue it must bite. But Starbuck News for the most part, middle of the road. Calling out them 3 years on, not one press conference. Starbuck News making a point in an editorial a couple of days ago that the preferred method of responding and giving clarity to the issues are on the sidelines of events. You know, you got some speech or something, some ribbon cutting, and then they can talk to you about Smalley and Ronaldo and Chase Green and them on the sidelines of events. You know why? Ali can't hold you on. You think Ali wants to start talking about caving out and rapper? He cannot hold his own. He's not his own man. He is not his own man. So we had a local government election. No press conferences, no substantive briefing from GCOM. Shame on them. Shame on them. Not one substantive briefing. Not one. And now we hear there is dissension whether or not they should have a review of the local government elections internally. I mean, you got to fight for that too. If you got nothing to hide and nothing is amiss, why can't you review your processes with the aim of getting better? Oh, but what a fiasco this was. Vinnie Prasad. Right? What didn't go wrong is what couldn't go wrong. And the climax that we saw publicly is what transpired there at the Christian Labour College. One fellow we spoke to said people were coming through the windows. Pack up all them people in that place. Now them boys don't want to review LGE. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? I wish I had somebody here to make a cup of coffee. Y'all see him Troy? I wish somebody would be so nice to fix a cup of coffee. The people don't want to give a review. Why is that? Don't you guys find that troubling? I find it a little troubling. I find that a little troubling. Right? Very, very troubling. So we just have a lot of movements, but don't reflect in action and say, you know, we could do this better. Don't impact the people in the building again. I'm begging you. Right? Correct? I think you could run out. You could swim out a little bit more with a press conference or two about what's happening at our end. You know? Jesus. So they don't want to have a review. That's what they're telling us there. They don't want to have a review. Well, Teacher's own F.O. Armstrong, Michelle McKay, Glenford Gordon. Glenford says Collins is corrupt. He says she's a wicked witch, Glenford Gordon. That's his comment there. Right? That's his comment there. Michael Hooper says GCOM is compromised. That's the real problem. GCOM is compromised. People saying GCOM rigging. I tell you, we saw a number of things before we got here to the election. The gerrymandering, you know, the changing of the residency requirement, the changing of the processes to get a birth certificate, a number of things. And I told you guys time and again, you know, when you see in broad daylight, don't take a lamp stick to look for nighttime. Don't do it. So a lot of things were done to produce a certain kind of result. And one of the nastiest people, her Lordy Nestor called it nasty man. And then she was corrected. Oh, you can't say that. She said alleged nasty man. Right. He had his part to play in the process as well. God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. So here's where we are on that. And of course, folks, the issue that has held everything in abeyance for the last 3 or 4 days is these damning allegations against the sitting minister of local government and regional development. Very, 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 very damning allegations. You all notice we're still in the morning papers, by the way. Damning allegations that have been made. Very much so. Very, Much so. What we know this morning, they're telling us that the minister's house at a compound called Ichalabar, hope I'm calling it right, that is where senior government officials live on taxpayers' money in this country, in Camberville. That is where this heinous crime is alleged to have taken place. And they're telling us that the complainant, the young woman, the 16-year-old, who alleged that she was brutally raped and sodomized by the People's Progressive Party's Nigel Damlad, took investigators through the scene there, and according to Starbuck News, the minister stood outside with his attorneys. Well, if she never went there, she wouldn't know the terrain. You see, this is government property, you know. All of this is set up when down at the place is called, I think, a Chalabar. Hope I'm getting it right. Government property. Right? Government trying to treat their senior executives and employees a certain standard, provide housing and so on. But it's a big compound. It was renovated on the Apno AFC. Because the way we found it, my God, it's like they were housing animals there prior. Perhaps they were. And so this is where the activity took place. And one of the things I heard Simona Broom said yesterday on that protest, the young lady got to know what she's talking about, because indeed there's a sliding gate there. Indeed, telling us she took investigators, and it was yesterday, according to his attorney, according to Starbuck News, when he reported to police to be interrogated, they learned that the police wanted to see the property. And the complainant was with them, the police, and apparently they went to the scene and, I guess, tried to corroborate what she was saying, where, what happened, and all of that. Right? I grew up hearing something. If you went, your name can get called. If you went. You see, this is the same foolishness. I wonder how many government ministers got member of the public coming by the house. One day somebody took God of the thoughts and turned up at my house. Right? It's a passing and I see your thing and I know you live in. I said, don't ever. Right? If there's an office for that reason, don't encourage that. People coming by your house, that's not the office. People coming in your living room, those who have all the support and who handles all the agreements. What people got office for? If people got meet by your house and your living room, or like everything professional, but this administration out the window. How many other living rooms, people coming in? How many other members of the public gone by government official homes and so on? This is madness. This is madness. So I would figure, I rationalize in my own mind that if the young lady never went there, she wouldn't know where's upstairs and downstairs. She would know the back from the front. I don't know if we have time to talk about the other allegation. Another young woman, family come forward and said she too was groomed with gifts flown to Georgetown. Oh, Father. How much time we got on this program? This thing can be like the O.J. Simpson trial. Is week after week, months. We might get into 2026. New government, and we still talking. Can this go through the court system? Another young lady and her families come forward and said she too was groomed and was was underage when she had sexual contact. Those allegations are out there too. Read Cultural News today. Somebody else on the forward with that. Yep. So that is part of what took place yesterday. Investigators, along with the complainant, the 16-year-old, there, and on the sidelines, you got Dharmlal and his attorneys from Hughes, and Sobey. So that's some of what's happening. That's some of what's happening. All right. There are a lot of things we gotta interrogate, a lot of things we gotta understand. The headlines say it all. The headlines over the last 24 hours say it all. Newsroom says Dharmlal rape allegation. Forensic report compiled. Child Protection Agency following all procedures. This according to Minister Vinnie Prasad. You know, a lot of people got some things to answer for. In this whole process here, that's gone so badly awry. A lot of people got a lot of things to answer for. Another article out of Newsroom. Women Gender Equality and Commission. When the Women and Gender Equality Commission supports thorough investigation. It only took them 4 days. It only took them 4 or 5 days. Right. This is chaired by former People's Progressive Party Minister in Sancho. It only took them 4 days. One day, somebody put lyrics to a melody. They said, praise a wild hog. I only posted the very day they had a statement out. The very day the women's arm of the People's Progressive Party Civic had a statement out. Well, Reverend Pat Sheraton there. With her part-time religiosity. With the Reverend there. With Mark Phillips. Where's Mark Phillips? With his manufactured a sense of duty and integrity. We there. All of them had something to say. I didn't write the song. I didn't compose the music to it. I only share it on my page. Letters Wild West. You know why they've been silent? Because there's hypocrites. There's hypocrites. So suddenly, 4 days later, Women and Gender Equality Commission supports thorough investigation. Right? I guess better late than never. I guess better late than never. And then DPI says, Ministry of Education responds to mischievous report. They were talking here about a reporting that came out of News 9, Channel 9's news break. Trying to remember what's the correct name of the broadcast. Right. But that's one of the entities that Adam Harris has some purview for. And they said that he was not accurate in some of his reporting, that a Ministry of Education official went with Dharmlal to the girl's parents' home last week. They didn't say they didn't went. Right? The Dharmlal didn't go with people. They said they didn't have an officer there. And in this case, I remember them saying that Harris was apparently reporting what another news entity had said. But the ministry came out saying that they didn't go, they didn't have it officially. You all sure? Priya, you all sure? I find it fascinating. I didn't hear, his attorneys, Hughes and Sobey, did say that he denied all allegations. But I am supposing that is relating to the sexual assault. But I didn't hear any denial that he went by the people's house. Right? And if you have nothing to hide and your integrity is intact, what are you paying out $10 million for? like use a charity. I mean, we could have a lot of things we could do with $10 million right now. A lot of things, so people got money to waste. You know, the charity you run in. Everybody who made an unsubstantiated allegation and claim you fork out 10 million. This country can be millionaire. Everybody got millions soon. Right? And then you had some other headlines we saw. Letters to the editor that says, place special attention on the violation of indigenous rights. And this in particular is an indigenous group who is making this assertion. I think they wrote a letter to the editor. Saw it in Starbucks News, I think it was. Right? And a number of persons signed this letter. And this is the Wapichan, I think the word is Wizi. I hope I pronounced it right. Apologies if I'm not. The Wapichan Wizi Women's Movement. It's an indigenous group. And a whole host of persons signed this letter. Right? The Wapichan Wizi Women's Movement. Place special attention on the violation of indigenous women's rights. First paragraph. We, the women of the Wapichan Wizi Women's Movement, are appalled at the alleged rape of a 16-year-old indigenous girl by the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Michael Damelal. As indigenous women, sisters, and mothers, we feel a deep pain at this, even as we are still in mourning over the perishing of 20 indigenous children in the recent Madu school fire. We call upon the government and responsible agencies to place special attention on the violation of indigenous women's rights, as well as failures to effectively implement and uphold measures aimed at protecting the well-being of indigenous women and girls. I thought it was a nice time since this new government took over. What the pastor, what's his name from the Adventist church said? He said, man of integrity. Jesus of mercy. Deeply spiritual. Deeply wicked. And here the indigenous women from this Wapichan Women Movement group crying out, protect indigenous women. Because we've been doing it. If it was being done, then they hadn't needed to make the request. We're not doing it. And then another letter, the writer says, there must be serious consequences for public figures who prey on the vulnerable, using your public office, right, for your own self-aggrandizement. That's wickedness, evil. I heard L. Lawrence Sable said, it's evil, pure evil. Come on, folks. That's not why we went. You know, that's not why we want higher office. So you can subdue, you can oppress, you can rape and sodomize. It's not for that. And the fact that in this day and hour, Ali has not saw it fit to relieve Damelal permanently of his appointment speaks volume. This deeply religious man of integrity. Deeply religious man of integrity. You see? Is it Martin Luther King who said, it is not where a man stands in time of peace, but in time of adversity. You see? All right. Mr. Man of integrity and deep religious convictions. Give me a break. Give me a break. Many shall say, Lord, Lord, and on that great and terrible day of judgment. All right, give me a break. So those are just some of the headlines. Those are just some of the headlines. Irfan Ali has to act. He requested this report. You got a report. And now we know he has multiple options in which he can proceed. This deeply spiritual man of integrity. This is Exton Clark, is the Seventh-day Adventist pastor. He can ask for a report from Vinnie Prasad. She led the effort with the Child Care and Protection Agency. He can get her to write a report. We're advised and attach a statement of the victim, which up to now has been very compelling. Right? We're told he can ask the Commissioner of Police as well for a report. The Commissioner can deliver that report. And again, you have the victim's statement, which was taken by the Blossom Foundation. But you see, they're determined to have all of these miscreants in their fold. Very, very determined. So there's a number of ways in which Irfan can proceed. A number of ways. But there's some important things we think you guys ought to know. Some very important things. Again, the scene of the crime is government property, government flats, a Chalabar. They're in, what do you call that? That's Camberville. There is where the alleged gruesome acts took place. Right? This police sexual offense unit responsible for this kind of crime would be Albertang. So it's very startling to some. Why is it that Brickdam is a station who has assumed jurisdiction? And now that Dharmlal himself is on station bail, the 72 hours holding is out of the window. We're advised that the police now has about a month or so to play with in terms of this investigation before handing a report to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Here all this story we're hearing is alleged that he purchased a phone for the victim. That was confiscated by police. Of course, they can be going through that device. And that the victim, the complainant, put it that way, as the report says, is now relying on another phone. But what is most startling, we're being made to understand, is that the young lady is without legal counsel. Now that is frightening, right? It is frightening because we got a good sense where her parents are on some of these issues. We got a good sense of that. Right? We're being made to understand that the victim does not have legal representation. That she's alone at the mercies of the investigators. Folks like Blanham and Caesar. Some others them in there. They're versed in the dark arts to procure a certain kind of outcome. Some of the others in there. So we are in uncharted waters. Uncharted waters. Uncharted waters. And that bit, that this young lady may be without legal representation. Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Attorney at law as well. Amanzo Walton Desir. Says she found it very, very frightening. Very, very frightening. Very, very frightening. Take a listen to what she said on social media yesterday. Take a look.
I'm very, very troubled, and I'll tell you why. This is related to the young lady that is involved in the allegations with the now on leave Nigel Dharmlal. And I'm sitting here And I'm concerned for that young lady. What we know is that she is in the protective services. She's in the custody of the Child Protection Agency. And that is what has me concerned. I am deeply, deeply worried because I am not sure that she is enjoying the benefit of legal guidance and of legal counsel. And so I want the Honorable Vinnie Prasad to say to me whether this young lady has been provided with legal counsel. I'll tell you why I'm worried. If she has not been provided with legal counsel, then she is at the mercy of the Guyana Police Force. And I'm sorry, but after that statement issued by that senior superintendent that amounted to nothing more than an attempt to cover up what has happened, we cannot trust anything that we're told. And so it would not be surprising to me if that young lady is right now being subjected to all kind of mental torment and so on and so forth. Because you remember, they simply need to find out, they simply need to be able to say that she was inconsistent in some detail to allow this to slide. And I'm very, very worried that may be happening right now. I am also very worried that she may be exposed to Nigel Darmlal. And I'll be very frank, I'm not mincing words here because I'm coming on here as a mother. This is not about politics. How do we know that in fact she has not been exposed to Darmlal? How do we know that in fact she's not being interrogated from every angle by a police force that has shown itself willing to aid and abet in the cover-up of this rape? And I'm saying that Vinnie Prasad must let us know if this young lady is being provided legal counsel. We must know this. We must know this. And we must know this soonest, because I'm very worried that time is going and you're not hearing anything. How many times has this young lady been interviewed? Has she been exposed to seeing Nigel Darmlal and having to relive that trauma without the presence of legal counsel? These are questions that we want to know, and I expect that the Commissioner Clifton Hicken will be briefing this nation on the steps that have been taken in this investigation. Because we have had grown men confess to crimes that they didn't commit and had to be exonerated afterwards and convicted based on confessions that were extracted from them under the most heinous of circumstances. And so I want to know from the Minister of Social Protection, Ms. Vinnie Prasad, what level of legal protection, legal counsel, legal guidance has this young lady been afforded? It cannot be that it is her and a child protection officer who are the people being allowed to interact with the police force and senior police members of the police force, and men who are known to be very versed in these dark arts of coercing and manipulating people. So we want to know, because the next thing you are going to hear is, oh, there was some inconsistency in her statement and this whole case could begin to fall apart. How do we know that she's not being told that her parents will be charged? How do we know that all of this mental pressure is not being exerted on her? Procedurally, she ought to be in the care and custody of a child protection officer. But which child protection officer? will exhibit the testicular fortitude or otherwise, or the moral conviction to say, no, 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 no. What you are exposing this young lady to is wrong. Which one of them? Who will do it? This young lady has been brave. She has been exceedingly brave, but she is also human, and she is also subject to all of the shenanigans that we know the Guyana Police Force being capable of. The balance of power in this regard is not equal, and she must be afforded the protection of legal counsel if she has not been. And Vinnie Prasad must say to us that the child has been afforded legal protection. Otherwise, the entire issue comes into question. And we must do this, and we must do this quickly. We will continue to stand in defense of our children. We will continue to sound our voices. But I'm very, very concerned that this girl is being left alone at the mercy and to the mercy of a police force that has established itself to be less than professional in these last few days and in respect of this incident. Because a professional police force would have said to us that the fellow Kemraj, the senior superintendent who signed that letter and attempted to engage in a cover-up, that he has been interdicted from duty. So I put nothing past them. So I am calling on Vinnie Prasad to say to us, one, that this young lady has been afforded the protection and the guidance of legal counsel as she goes through this to watch her interest. And two, I am requesting that we, the members of the public, be kept apprised of every step in this process so that we know that this young lady is safe, that she is mentally and psychologically being offered the kind of support that she needs. And if not, we are going to have a problem, because we are going to have to internationalize this. Because in no other country would she have been walking through this alone. No other country would she be walking through this alone without the guidance of an attorney watching her interests. She is a minor. And if it is a fact that her parents are involved or were involved in a cover-up, then we know, or we can safely assume, that the likelihood of them requesting legal counsel to guide her through this is slim to none. And so, Vinnie, you must speak up now. You must let us know if this young lady has been afforded legal counsel and whether she is being offered the psychosocial support, the mental health support that she will require. This is a 16-year-old girl coming up against an entire machinery, and she must be commended, and we, the people of Guyana, must stand by her, and we must hear by tomorrow morning that she has had counsel, and she has had a counsel assigned to her. So I just wanted to come on here to say that and to voice my concern, because I, for one, will be deeply, deeply upset if the police come out here to tell us any foolishness. Any foolishness. That child has to be protected, and it is our duty to protect these children.
Yep, a frightening situation indeed. A very, very frightening situation indeed. And again, you know, intermittent, if not consistent, briefings as to where this process is important. We're talking about a sitting minister of a whole country. And that silence, you left to assume what is happening and what's going on. You left to assume what's happening and what's going on. That's not good enough. That is not good enough at all. So we got to do better. Come on, Vindia. You know what is the right thing? Do the right thing. Folks, we're going to leave it here, but before we go, we want to encourage you guys to partner with us so we can keep moving forward. This is how we keep the programs going. We're totally funded by members of the public. So we're relying on them boys, Rabindra and crew. Right? Somebody talk to Rabindra from in the comments. Y'all, look after. Folks, you desire some partner with our program? Several ways you can do so. We got Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. You need any additional information? There's the number there, 627-6963. That being said, folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. Until we see you guys back on our next broadcast. Until we see you good folks back on our next broadcast. That being said, here's how you can contribute to our program. You can message us for any additional information that you may need. We want to thank all the folks who've been so helpful to us. All right, thank you for your love, your support, and thank you for your generosity as well. That being said, folks, until our next podcast, we're going to leave it there. We are going to leave it there. Donna Joseph, Naomi Drucker, Sharon Caslow Edwards, see Maxine and Donna, good to have you guys. Marlon Thomas, good to see you there. And all the other folks there, thousands of you who've joined us this morning. Those of you come back to watch the program later on, ensure that you smash that emoji button, you share the broadcast, and the good folks will do. And you partner with us as well. It helps us, folks, to keep moving forward and for folks to get valid, credible information. See you soon, folks. Take care. See you guys soon. Stay safe. Stay safe.